All right, so the man we used to love to hate has had an interview with the San Antonio Spurs, and it's time to listen to what he had to say.
I want some nasty. Are we having fun yet?
All right, guys. So Chris Paul, media availability, he has some things to say. I have not listened to any of this. So I'm going to put it at 1.25 speed because that's just what I do with Reacts. If you guys want to watch the original, it's on the San Antonio Spurs official YouTube channel. But you're on here because you want to see the reaction or at least my overall thoughts on it. And I like you guys being here because I'd like to look at the comments and see what your thoughts are on what Chris Paul has to say here. All right, now before we do that, guys, please go subscribe to Spurs Invasion. Link below in the description box. I already did a video on Stephon Castle and Chris Paul. Funny enough, the first video was actually about how we needed a Stephon Castle, which is kind of funny. But yeah, guys, if you like edited scripted content, please just head on over there, see if you like it. I'm going to be working on a Jeremy Sohan video, and I'm hoping to have that up next week. So that's what I'm working tirelessly at the moment. But right now, hey, if you guys want to support, please do. Spurs Invasion, link below. All right, Chris Paul. All right, CP3. All right, okay. What do you have to say for yourself?
What were the overriding factors?
Oh man, you know that kind of talk kind of loud anyway. Man, the opportunity to play, to hoop, to compete. Obviously, this is a first-class organization, and for me, I've loved nothing more than the opportunity to play and contribute and hoop, yeah.
Okay, so he's not necessarily okay. So it seems like that's the reason why he went to San Antonio, so he could play rather than ring chasing. Which that makes me wonder. Once we get to the trade deadline, will he want to continue with San Antonio, or will the Spurs just go ahead and trade him? Doesn't really matter. We can do what we want. But I do wonder that if that was promised to him. But hey, all the way up to February, that's a lot of playing time that you got before you can ring chase. I think at this point he should ring chase, honestly. After he's done with the Spurs, I think you should, dude. Try to get your ring.
What is this?
Man, it's going to be definitely an honor and a privilege.
What does it mean to play with Pop?
I've admired Pop from afar, from years, and you know, when you're in this for a while, as he's done for a long time, there's so much respect there, not only for his basketball IQ, but just for who he is as a person, you know, as a competitor and all of this. And so Pop has always been someone that I've spoken to, you know, before jump ball, during the game or whatnot, if it's just a little conversation here or there. So I'm excited to learn from him and the coaching staff here.
Chris, Draymond said this week that you're a veteran to even the veterans, much less the young guys like Victor and guys like that. But he said you have a very strong personality, and so it says a lot about the Spurs' trust in you to be positive influence to somebody like Victor. Do you feel like a little more responsibility in that mentorship role that's like Victor you had in the past?
I mean, I think I've always taken that responsibility very seriously, but also understanding that I come to hoop. You know, I'm not a coach. You know what I mean? So there's definitely things to be learned and all that stuff. But I come in, obviously, with a lot of knowledge from on-the-job training, but I also come in trying to learn from these guys. That's probably been the coolest thing about my career is that, yeah, I've went to some teams that are younger or whatnot, but I'm constantly learning from these guys. I got a chance to play with Shea in his second year in the league, and I got a chance to learn from him. I got a chance to learn.
Guys, all I'm gonna say, subscribe to Spurs Invasion. That's all I'm gonna say. Watch the Chris Paul video. That's pretty funny that he brings that up. But yeah, like there's a big difference between him being a coach and him being a on the court coach. There's a huge difference, and I'm glad that he's bringing that up because some Spurs fans have said, "Oh, okay, he should just be coach." Like, oh, what's the point? He's at this point in his age and stuff. And it's like maybe he doesn't want to be coach. Maybe he actually wants to play the game of basketball, and also he's going to catch things that Popovich doesn't catch. And we haven't had this amount of leadership probably since Manu, honestly. Like a high-level player that can correct things in real time, super high basketball IQ, also a leader. We have not had that since then. Like, I don't think that DeMar DeRozan was necessarily that. And DeMar DeRozan has a high basketball IQ, but he wasn't that type of leader. LA wasn't that type of leader. I'm trying to think who else. DeJounte's not that type of. Derek White wasn't that type. Like, this is perfect. We haven't had this since Manu, honestly.
From Book, Mikal Bridges, and all those guys. So I'm excited to share with these guys what I know or whatever they want to know. But I'm also excited to see what I can learn from them.
Wemby is going to be all over Chris Paul. Like, he is going to be asking him so many questions. You guys remember this? We talked about how Wemby, even during the summer league, was all up on Don Barlow and asking Barlow like so much advice. And Barlow was like, "Dude, I'm undrafted. What the heck? Like, why are you asking me?"
Along those lines, some of us who've been doing this for a couple decades or more.
Yeah, same.
It seems like 20-year-olds are younger than they've ever been. How do you kind of bridge that gap? And what makes you want to sign up?
20-year-olds are younger than they've ever been. I don't get what he means by that.
I think a lot of it's because I still look at myself as a big kid. You know what I mean? I get a chance to play basketball every day and say that's my way of life, something I've been doing since I was 4 or 5 years old. But also, I'm so connected to the game from a grassroots standpoint. I mean, I have an AAU team that I'm getting ready to go to Peach Jam here in a week or two. I watch high school basketball, I watch middle school basketball, and I'm a parent too. I have a 15-year-old son, a daughter who's about to be 12. So, I'm not trying to be in the locker room and be her dad or nothing like that. It's just, for me, there's connectivity. And I think the thing that connects us all is this game, right? And always trying to get better.
Ask him about Steph Castle. This is an opportunity. Perfect segue. Please ask him about Stephon Castle.
How are you too? Good to see you. Been a while. Yeah.
When the Spurs came to you, how big a factor was Victor's presence on this team to you to be able to play at the bottom team?
Well, that definitely helps. That definitely didn't hurt. But also knowing the pedigree that this organization has, everything around it, from coaches to front office. Like I said, I played for a number of teams now, and Pop and the Spurs definitely probably got the deepest tree in the league. When I say the tree, right, everybody sort of branches off from here and ends up better. And so Victor being here helped too, obviously, and them having a young team and getting a chance to watch him, right? Like I played against him this season, and I tell you, there's probably no player in the league that everybody in the league talks about after the game like him, because everybody has to adjust stuff. Me and Harrison was on our flight yesterday just talking about how cool it's going to be at this point in our careers to get a chance to appreciate him day in and day out. So that definitely helped.
To that extent, Chris, adding you and Harrison to this fold, now looking at the team that San Antonio's bringing back, how quickly do you think and how realistic is it that this team can contend for a playoff run?
He just asked if we can contend for a playoff run. How does he even answer that? He can't answer that.
We start that stuff in training camp. I'm not here to say we're going to do this or do that. I think we all got to get together and make sure that we understand what our goals are and what we're going to do to try to help each other get there.
What are your goals?
I only have one goal every time, and that's to win. Every game. I don't care if it's practice. I don't care if it's shooting contest. I don't think you should play anything if you're just doing it for shits and giggles. Yep.
He's so scary. I'm going to be honest with you guys. He's so scary. I would not want to hang out with – look at that face. I would not want to hang out with Chris Paul in, real life. I just would. I'm so happy that he's playing for the Spurs. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I've always liked Chris Paul, because I haven't. But, man, he's so scary. I think that's kind of all I have to say about that. That's my commentary on that. I don't. He's a scary man. It's good for us, good for our guys, but whew, look at him.
Released the photo of you and Kim being Tim Duncan. It's kind of gone on the ground again because your team now. What did that? Can you talk a little bit about that day and how that came up, and looking back at that picture and
So me and Tim's nephew Shane played on the same AAU basketball team, right? So we were teammates 11 to 14, and Tim in that picture, he had just got drafted. And we were in Utah at the AAU Nationals, and Tim came to watch us. You know what I mean? So I was telling somebody earlier, I was in middle school or high school and used to go to the local YMCA and watch Tim hoop. And obviously I went to Wake Forest like him. Darius Sangala, who's on the coaching staff, I was in high school and he was at Wake, and I used to go play pickup with them. So it's a lot of full circle moments here.
another full circle moment. Two of the more memorable 7-game series that you know, Spurs were against.
Yeah. Yeah. Dang, 07, 08, That was my first time in the playoffs. They beat us in New Orleans in Game 7. I don't know what year it was. We won in 15. Yeah, that was crazy. Me and my brother was talking about it. I don't think I've played against another team, and y'all, I don't know all the stats, but I don't think I played against another team more than I played against the Spurs in my career. So I learned a lot from, watching this team. I was at the finals when they won in Cleveland. I was at that game, Game 4. I was courtside watching that game. Tony was a big brother to me when I came into the NBA, Tony Parker. And so, when the trade, when I came here, it was cool. I got a text from Tim. I got a text from Manu. I got a text from Tony. And it's really cool to be here.
Can you tell us about that shot?
Dang, you got a text from all three? I guess that makes sense. They're still involved.
TD to win that series.
Might have been a push-off before I shot it.
Wait. Did he admit to it?
Can you tell us about that shot you hit over TD to win that series?
Oh my God. He admitted to it. Dude, I've been like ranting about this like forever. I've been ranting about that game forever. And I remember that night because I had the most depressing night imaginable because I was going for Manny Pacquiao in the fight that was right after the Spurs Game 7. So my Spurs lost and then Manny Pacquiao lost. And it was just the worst night ever, dude.
Might have been a push-off before
It was a push-off.
But I'll take it. Yeah.
He still remembers it.
Man, I'll tell you the truth. I don't need to give these fans any type of message, honestly, just because they've seen greatness around here for a long time, right? Some hard-fought playoff series here. So with the young talent that they have here already, they know how to support a team. But just
Chris Paul. I've been around the Spurs fan base for a while now. Okay, it is not what it was back then. All right, we got a lot of casuals. We got quite a few people that judge the crap out of the Spurs for like no reason. I don't know, man. Maybe you should give a message. I don't know.
Know that, I don't hold it against me how I act on the court and how I am in real life. I'm two totally different people. I just hate to lose. I always say this. I hate to lose more than I like to win. And so
I don't know. I don't buy that. I don't think I would want to hang out with him off the court either.
Thing you should know about is we're gonna compete. We definitely gonna compete. But this fan base has had a lot of success in the past, and hopefully we can continue that.
You mentioned Harrison Barnes. Just your thoughts on having that guy young man next to you.
Man, I'm excited. I was talking to DT, Dave Tellep, who I've known since I was a kid. I was actually at his wedding. But I do a basketball camp, an elite camp for years, and Harrison came to camp some years ago, and that's when I first got to know him. And when you get in the NBA, everybody sort of forms their own lives, so it was cool to talk to him on the flight last night. And I know how good Harrison is. I know how determined and committed he is to being the best version of himself, so I'm excited to try to put all this together.
You don't stay around the league as long as you have if you're not pretty committed, so I agree.
We said that Pop had a conversation with you, kind of a sales pitch to bring you here. What was he looking for? How did he sell the Spurs?
That's a good question.
Yeah, I didn't need a sales pitch. You know what I mean? I think me and Pop more than anything had a conversation. And I think what I appreciated the most was, Pop said, I want you to come be you. Whatever that means, he said that too. And I'm excited. In anything you do, I don't care who you are, a writer, anything, you want to feel wanted. You know what I mean? And
that's true.
He sounded excited, so that got me excited. And I think something that I would probably want to say is I think a lot of times there's rhetoric about, oh, this guy wants to stay close to home. He has to be close to home. My family is everything. My wife is here. My kids are back in LA, and that's where they will be during the season. And I love basketball so much that I could be close to home, but if I'm not playing, I'm not happy. Seriously. And I love my family to death. And so when we saw this opportunity, even though it put me away from my family knows me better than anybody, and they know that, I just want to play. I want to play more than anything, and that's why I'm grateful for them and more so grateful to be here.
What a great man. Chris Paul is so articulate. Look, I'll be honest with you guys. I never really liked him. All right, he always used to irritate me often, but I've always gave him like his flowers. Like I was never one to say Chris Paul is trash or Chris Paul is the reason why he hasn't won any championships. Not necessarily. Like I've always given him his flowers, and it seems like most of the time when he goes to a certain place, he makes that team better, and players become better from him. So I would not be surprised by any means if later down the line Chris Paul does elect to be a coach. But man, oh man, I am so ecstatic. I hate that they didn't ask anything about Stephon Castle, because Chris Paul saying that he watched high school tape, he watched college, so he keeps up with it, because not every NBA player keeps up with it. I was really interested to see what he had to say about Stephon Castle in his game, because he knows who he's playing with, right? And he knows he probably already knows everyone's tendencies. It's just a matter of getting in practice with him and seeing it actually happen. But I really wanted to hear what he had to say about Stephon Castle, because I think that's the one player. Everyone's going to talk about Chris Paul and Wemby or whatnot. Everyone's going to be excited about it. We're going to make graphics about it. But I think Chris Paul and Stephon Castle is the connection that I actually really care about, because Stephon Castle wants to be a future point guard, and he has very similar tendencies, similar frame to SGA, and I would just love to see how Chris Paul thinks about him. And I think picking Chris Paul's brain is really going to help Stephon Castle take that next step of being a starting point guard in the NBA. And he could very well end up being our future point guard. We'll see how this season goes. And, I know he's just a rookie, but we'll see how this season goes. And 2025, I think the Spurs have some decisions to make as far as what positions they want to fill. But I still think we're going to need a small forward, obviously. I don't think that. I know that. We're going to need a small forward. So, Cooper Flag. Cool. Hopefully. All right. Anyways, I'll give it to you guys later, man. Thanks for all the love. Like I said, follow Spurs Invasion, link below. But until next time, bye.